Hey, it's Thomas here, and today we're going to take a look at Kamoer's X1 Pro 2 Wi-Fi micro pump. If you want an affordable Wi-Fi app-controlled single-channel dosing pump for your one-part additive like all for Reef that can easily daisy chain with up to 3 more dosing pumps to handle all of your dosing needs, tiny enough to fit in your already cramped standard cabinet, then check out Kamoer's new Wi-Fi micro pump. This one's great. It runs on the Kamoer remote app, which gives it a ton of flexibility. You can also calibrate it, which is great. And a little bit later, I'll tell you exactly what sets it apart from the other X1 micro pump that runs on Bluetooth. And it's more than just the Wi-Fi Bluetooth. Our Reef aquariums do best when water chemistry is stable, meaning all levels are within acceptable ranges and don't fluctuate very much. While it is certainly possible to meticulously dose by hand every day, it is really tough to beat the consistency and stability of a good dosing pump. There are a lot of dosing pump options out there, ranging from simple pumps designed to run on a digital timer to more complex dosers with multiple heads meant to work directly with an aquarium controller, and everything in between. The Kamoer X1 Pro 2 Wi-Fi micro pump stands out from the pack as a tiny, capable, and Wi-Fi app-controlled single-channel dosing pump. It can accurately dose between 0.1 milliliters and 9,999.99 milliliters per day, as little as once every 99 days, or as often as 24 times a day, with the ability to be calibrated to ensure accurate dosing. It can also be daisy chained with up to 3 more X1 Pro 2 micro pumps on a single power supply, making it easily expandable as your needs change or budget allows. And speaking of budget, this pump comes in at $89.99, making it one of the most affordable dosing pumps out there and a massive value, especially because it's Wi-Fi app controlled. In the box, you'll find the X1 Pro 2 Wi-Fi pump, the pump head, tubing and barbed connectors, a graduated cylinder for calibration, mounting screws, the daisy chain connector, and the power supply. When it comes to placement and mounting, the X1 Pro 2 is easy to accommodate because it is so very small. It has rubber feet on the bottom and can sit nicely on a shelf, and also has eyelets on the back for mounting it to the inside of a cabinet, on the wall, or on your controller board. The pump head can also be rotated to keep the lines from getting squished. Setup is just a matter of downloading the Kamoer remote app for your Android or Apple device, plugging in the pump, pressing the plus button in the corner of the screen, and finding the X1 Pro 2 on the list. The app will walk you through the rest. The Kamoer remote app gives you lots of flexibility. You can rename the pump itself and the group you put it in to easily keep track of them. Choose either daily cycles from 1 to 99 or weekly cycles and choose exactly what days of the week you want the pump to run. You can also select start and end times during the day that can restrict the pump to running its schedule within that window, or leave it wide open for it to run evenly throughout the 24-hour period. To create your dosing schedule, you've got 2 options: add a plan or quick add. Quick add is the fastest and easiest option. You select how many milliliters you want the pump to dose per day, how many separate doses you want it divided into, and it'll automatically set up a dosing schedule for you. You can also go in and modify any of the individual doses if you want to adjust the time or volume for that particular dose during the day. There's also a setting for anti-chemical interference, which will essentially set the minutes on the hour that the pump will run. So for example, the default is 5 minutes, which means if the pump is going to dose at noon, it will run at 12:05. Or if you set it to 38 minutes, it would run at 12:38. This way you can avoid any 2 dosing pumps from running at the exact same time, even if they're both set up to dose every hour. The app also lets you dose manually at any time. Just pop in how many milliliters you want it to dose that one time and go. I also really dig that the app can keep track of how much additive is left in your dosing container based on how much has been dosed, and also takes any manual doses you make into account. You just tap on the icon in the app and enter the volume of liquid in your dosing container, and it calculates how many days it should last, how much liquid is remaining, and shows you how many milliliters a day it is currently set to dose, which is a great way to make sure you stock up on more additives before you get too low and end up short-handed and scrambling to get more before your calcium or alkalinity starts to dive. Not a good feeling. So, nifty. You can also calibrate the pump, which is a great feature. If a pump's factory calibration shifts over time, which can often happen as the pump gets older, being able to recalibrate it makes it a whole lot easier to calculate your daily doses effectively. If you take the time to test and calculate what the consumption is of your alkalinity additive and figure out it's 15 milliliters a day, you want to be able to set your dosing pump to 15 milliliters a day and know that it is dosing that accurately. Now, if you're on the fence between the X1 Bluetooth micro pump and the X1 Pro 2 Wi-Fi micro pump that we're looking at today and aren't sure if you want to spend the extra 30 bucks, here are the differences between them. The Pro 2 runs on the Kamoer remote app versus the X1 Bluetooth app. The Pro 2 has 0.1 mil to 9,999.99 milliliters versus that 0.1 mil to 6,000 milliliters. The Pro 2 can be set to intervals as far apart as 99 days or as frequently as 24 times per day versus as far apart as 31 days and as many as 12 times a day. The Pro 2 also has that dosing container monitoring, an internal clock with memory. It can receive firmware updates. It also features those mounting holes on the back, and the Pro 2 is actually smaller at 2.56 by 2.36 by 3.24 inches versus that 4 inches by 2.5 by 3 inches. Both of these pumps are going to be a great option for the average reefer, but if you specifically want a pump you can access from anywhere, anytime, not just when you're standing in front of it, or really like the idea of your tech being future-proof and updatable, or just have to have the smallest pump possible, or maybe just want the absolute most amount of doses over the course of the day so that you can really gun for that super stability, then the X1 Pro 2 is for you. With that said, regardless of which of the two you choose, you want to make sure you set up your dosing pump the right way so that it can do the job you need it to and you don't end up wasting your additives or cause an unexpected change in your pH. Ryan and Randy are going to help you not make the top 15 mistakes that reefers often make with their two-part dosing additives. You can check out the video right here. This is awesome because depending on how you set up your pump and something as simple as where your pump's dosing line goes into in your sump can change how effective your pump is going to be at keeping your parameters stable and using your, additives effectively, which is important because otherwise you're wasting them. And we don't want to waste them. We want our corals to grow. So have a look.